G'day everyone. The Quantum Odyssey tour guide has concluded the Christmas with a high note. Today is obviously the Boxing Day, so it's a day where we celebrate boxing. Of course, the last year we saw the first refugee boxer win a medal. So that's in fact, the first refugee Olympian to ever win a medal, which is one of the two bronze medals. Well, it's actually not. It's not this boxing. Well, Boxing Day really means you are collecting and unboxing the boxes received as presents during Christmas. So that's what Boxing Day is, really. So after checking the analytics, I have received dozens of subscribers on that very Christmas, prompting me to reorganize my Patreon and delineating the chapters in my live stream videos. So please, if you enjoy the videos, if you enjoyed Quantum Odyssey or quantum computing in general, please like and subscribe to my videos or support me on Patreon. Thank you for all the supporters I've had for this last couple of months, and I wish you all the best in your journey. Let's start our 2026 with a high note. And of course, we have like the orbitals over there. So this is, let's say, it's a modified Bohr diagram. You might have learned this in high school. So Bohr diagram. And then once you get into specialized chemistry, you realize that, hey, it's not like atoms and electrons whizzing around like in specified like these orbits or even like randomly around, but actually it's a quantum mechanical phenomena whose behavior is like, hey, the electrons, there's a probability of appearing in this particular location or around it, and then like its momentum, which is equivalent to its velocity, is also subject to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And then we have these shapes of these orbitals, which we will make an analogy of regarding the topic that we will discuss about, namely analytics. So we could like unbox analytics, as well as the updates to my YouTube live streams. So let's go. Okay. So here we have the topologic sort. So we will start first with the organization of the live stream, but why it's topologic sort? The live streams has been reposted on Patreon and reorganized with new chapters for easier navigation. The nav streams are best used as a reference, so if you are stuck on a problem or you want to learn more about it, then you can use the live streams to watch part of the video rather than the entire video. And the chapter segmentation allows you to watch specific parts, search through that particular puzzle you are stuck with or find it interesting or you want to improve upon for easy navigation. However, if you look at the title, you will see that topologic sort, this whole diagram over there, is a classical computer science concept. And quantum computing allows you to perform this in parallel as intended. But as of right now, even though like the centennial anniversary of quantum science, we are still in the near-term error-prone era. So topologic sort. The view order does not need to be linear, but it is that of a DAG. But nevertheless, it's still based on prerequisites, and that in the campaign or descent map itself is also a DAG. That means if you want to make new electrons visible, you have to complete previous electrons. Topologic sort determines whether this viewing order is compatible, and if not, identify which prerequisites have not been met. So there are 7 live streams in the main portion of this live stream series. It starts with the 2 first orbital, so namely let's say the tutorials, the 30 puzzle tutorials, which have received updates, which also have the volts, which is on the first video as well. On the second video, it is the first orbital. That means it's the X, Y, Z, H, S, and C gates. After that, we see several branches. In fact, it branches off into four branches. The branch that immediately came with the Y would, let's call this a 2A, so that is the T gates, the final gates. And the others, let's call it let's say the superposition, so it features the HC, the entanglement, which is the Toffoli, which then eventually leads to the classical gates. One thing you might have noticed is that in the T-gate section, there is a rerouting, namely that the Clifford group is now its own separate branch. We continue on either through the S or the P branches. It's just like an analogy. The S branch, we have the phenomenons, so the new types of electrons. We see the phase kickback, we see the Bernstein-Verizani, we see the QFT, Fourier transform, then the Grover search. At least we did not currently didn't see anything, let's say the Shores. We didn't see Shore as of now. But hopefully we'll see a Shore one day. On the other path, we deal with the logic gates, the OR, technically the XOR, the other OR, the AND, then together it makes up the OR. Then we have the NAND gates, as well as then the half adder, and then the full adder. The full adder is basically adding a half adder on the A and B, and then the half adder on the intermediate S and C, in which the final S is just the OR of the ANDs, and the carry is just the final XOR gate. We finally conclude, as of this early access, we have the algorithms challenge, which is also, let's say, the 3 challenge, which eventually culminates to the You Are Ready, which is the first of the impossible puzzles. And we also have the adder challenge as well on the other path, so which is about implementing half adders and full adders in only these multi-qubit gates to solve the problems. Only then, if you are completed all of them from the, let's say, the third orbital, you will see that You Are Ready will appear. So right now, from the live streams, it only goes up to the 4th orbital, and even then the 4th orbital is very limited. It's only like the earliest of the branches, namely the, let's call this the missing sage branch, is the one that goes all the way to the 4th orbital proper, and it contains the other impossible puzzle, the God key. So our second point of discussion is about the current analytics of the game. So as of now, the sales figure is estimated to be at 5,000, and on any given day we are seeing an average of only 4 to 6 concurrent players, with a peak of 9 to 13. There's also a slight deceleration on the number of followers on stream, so doesn't look too good because of this deceleration, but hopefully we can turn this around and make it blow up once the game exits early access. And on my side, nevertheless, my live streams have a very low user retention figure, mostly because it's meant as a reference, but it's also because as a live stream, the viewership is not great. It's not impressive at all. And it's partly my fault because there are some irregularities on how I have scheduled my live streams. In fact, only one is relatively successful, I have to admit. And that also live streams are initially relatively difficult to search because at that time, that's before I have delineated it into chapters. Furthermore, the tutorial sets and the red electrons are the most concerning part, in which it takes a considerably longer amount of time and thinking for us to crack a red electron puzzle or to ensure that there is no user churn because the tutorials are still too hard or too intuitive. This is why my live streams are a tie-in to Quantum Odyssey. Below are the figures of the first orbital. This is the first one, the tutorial and vault. The other one is the gate base, so X. X is not there though, so there isn't an X. There's the Z, there's the H, there's a C, there's the S and the Y, and then there are these challenges, all in one. The next one is, let's say, the second and third orbitals in reading order. So this is the figure for 2A. This is the T-gate and the Clifford group, and that's before the rerouting. The middle member is 2B, which is superpositions and multi-control gates, which allows us to implement a classical gate. The right member is the challenges for both the T-gate, the HCs, and the multi-controls. On the bottom are the supplementary materials. The Canada Days are, let's say, okay, Canada Day would be, and then we have the Ring 3 relive stream. Canada Day would be, this is the Juneteenth, double headers. We have the Canada Day, which is the 3A, and then the relive stream, which is done much later at the American Thanksgiving, which is the 3B, which 3B is especially bad, especially that during the early fall, I was basically unavailable at that time due to other startup related matters. So the Unicom thing, which has to be pivoted. The last set of live streams are the supplemental material, namely we have the Independence Day updates. We have the special live stream, the Mastergate. And then we also have the concurrent viewers. This is the average case, and this is the first of the Juneteenth doubleheader. So special live stream, this one is like, let's say it's after the master gate notation. So of course there definitely needs some work regarding on how I time the live streams, or let's say like the office hours. But at least the material has been published and it can be used as a reference guide, and as well as how I solve these problems live. Ignatius is the first to crack Quantum Odyssey, and they have posted the similar live streams, but much earlier, like in the very beginning of February, probably like January. Quantum Odyssey was launched on January the 27th of 2025. So tomorrow would be, let's say, the 12th month of Quantum Odyssey as an early access game. And so far it's doing decently, but we want to make it more effective as an educational and visual teaching tool. So 2025 is not over. It takes up to 3 hours for me to make this 1 hour session. This isn't even a 1 hour session. It's like less than 20 minutes. Let's say it's a 20-minute special, and that amounts for like the rehearsals and the theory and the double checking. The live streams are full of imperfections, of course. There are some failed live streams which I've still included in part of these playlists for the sake of completeness, like the Civic Day live stream, which is silent, and then my second attempt, which is introducing the mastered gate. The live streams are full of imperfections, and the puzzles and maps are subject to change. That means that the live streams I have done a few months ago might no longer apply. But we will look to the future, and hopefully the 50-day would be up before the Olympics, and after that is the World Cup and the quarter millennium of the United States of America. So, if you liked and enjoyed my video, once again, like and subscribe to my channel and support me on Patreon. Peace out.